fucking nuts! Come on, let's get nuts.
So
What's it
definitely
called? Conspiracy theory.
I think it's called Conspiracy Theory, yeah. So yeah, it might be one to watch
Yeah,
down the
I might
road.
throw it on as well the weekend. Just have a couple of things to watch. You didn't get a chance to watch that S-Force documentary yet with Bob Lazar?
No, I haven't. Do you know what
It's
happened
a
to me
must
actually this
watch
week?
that.
I watched a documentary on Netflix. I can't remember what it's called now. It's about these two. It's about these two chess guys, chess masters.
With Matt Damon.
No. It's a documentary. It's kind of
Oh
based
shit!
on
Sorry. What?
what's your
Sorry.
man's name? Hans. Fuck it, I watched it a few days ago now. Hans Lehman or something is his name, and Magnus something.
Carlson.
I can't remember. Is that what
Magnus
his name is?
Carlson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, I've been fucking playing chess all week ever since. I fucking
Yeah.
yeah, I got a subscription to chess.com. It's fucking great because
Chess is great
like
crack,
we have we have a chessboard here, and I play with the lads, the kids, from time to time, but only kind of know the basics and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, this app is fucking really good actually. Sponsors of today's episode, chess.com. Get the app, it's really fucking good. But yeah,
Very
it
good.
gives really good lessons and stuff and little puzzles and shit.
Yeah.
So
I was playing a game there. It was I think it was literally an official game belonging to, or what would you say, affiliated with Magnus Carlsen. But you could play different age groups. So it was him basically as a child. So you can go from age 5, I think, is when he started, and it went as far as like age either 13 or 15.
right.
So I said, fuck that, I'm gonna max it up now to age 13, whatever it was. The
Mm,
fucker beat me every time.
yeah. Well,
And he
you're up
kept
against a
starting
genius
off.
there, I'd say.
He kept starting off with the same move. He'd put his horse. He'd move the horse first, or the knight, I should say.
Mm.
He'd move him first, and I was kind of trying to copy him in different games, moving the knight, and I couldn't figure him out of that.
Um,
But he's doing it. So he was supposed to be doing the summit here with James Cameron. I was telling you that here in Dubai, back at the start of March, but it was cancelled with all the conflict going on. But Magnus Carlsen, James Cameron, your man that wrote the book, Robert Greene, the Laws of Power, 48
oh
Laws
yeah,
of Power, is it?
yeah.
And there's a few others in. But yeah, to be cool to kind of hear from Magnus Carlsen, because he's a bit of a mad fucker, like, isn't he? He'd be turning up to competitions and finals like late and stuff, and there's something about jeans. Are they not allowed to wear jeans? And did he turn up to some final wearing jeans or something? He's a bit of a gas man, goes against the status quo.
Does
Like.
he? Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. No,
yeah, yeah.
I don't know much about it. I just threw it on because the chessboard was there on the coffee table and I was just flicking around there the other night.
Yeah,
And the wife just said, "You should watch that." So I said, "Fuck it." So I just threw it on. I said, with these kind of things, I give it 5 or 10 minutes to see if it's any good. Like, but yeah, it was a bit
yeah.
of entertainment anyway, you know. But
Um,
and with chess.com you can play live. So you just press play and it'll find you someone to play with straight away.
oh, very good.
It'll find someone at your kind of roughly around your standard as well. So you've kind of
Oh,
good
okay.
games, you know.
Yeah.
It's good old crack. I'm gonna spend.
That'll
Geez, I've
keep you
lost a couple
going
of
now.
hours. I've definitely I lost a couple of hours of sleep this week. Joe, just go on and have one more game.
Jeez, you could be at worst, kid.
Yeah, that's it now. Yeah.
Come here. Had you look? You probably didn't get a chance today to look at these alien files. Did you see anything up on
No, did you?
Twitter or Instagram? I kind of seen a few bits and pieces. I'm actually going to show you here on Twitter. Right, there was this nice kind of video put together. Um, yeah, like so it's up on aliens.gov, I think is the site. Where they're
Aliens.gov.
yeah, no, they set up that site, I'd say a month ago, good few weeks ago now. I think I said it to you as well, but obviously didn't put up anything till today. Where is this now? Okay, so whoever this is just basically put accumulate, or what you call them? Yeah, accumulated a few clips together. So I'm just gonna share this now with you. But yeah, like if you dig, there's a few interesting things. There's stuff there that's taken from the moon, from Apollo 13, I think it was. There's a few interesting bits and pieces now. Okay, give me a second there and I'm going to share this. So, 2 seconds. Yeah, you should be able to see that there now, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's the US Department of War. So this is exactly what it looks like basically on the site. Now this one, what's this one? This is a rendering. Actual site photo with FBI lab rendered graphic overlay depicting corroborating witnesses' reports from 2023. So that's what they saw apparently overlaying the. That's not that impressive. This is from the moon, Apollo 17, 1972. Archival imagery from the Apollo 17 mission to the moon. The yellow box contains a large area of the original photo in which three lights are visible above the lunar terrain. So I'll zoom in there. Like they could
Oh
be.
yeah, I can see it.
No, they're not saying that these are aliens or whatever, but they are saying
Mm.
it's just unidentified anomalous phenomena or UFOs.
Mm.
That's just something from a newspaper. Yeah, and there's a couple of these things. This is as well from Apollo 12, 1969. So apparently that has some kind of a bit of importance to it. And these were from Apollo 12 as well, 1969. So apparently these were UFOs. No. Oh yeah, this is in shit quality, but I seen a clip. So basically it's from one of the Apollo missions and they were talking back to Houston and they were saying that they were seeing something out the window, seeing lights that were organized together like in a pattern.
Mm.
So that was just like a communication between Apollo and yeah, that's kind of it. Now when you go on UFO, oh, what is it? What did I say? Aliens.gov. Like you're going to come across, oh, advanced. Proceed. The fuck? Why can't I get into this? Okay, I'm not loading there, but I could get in there with the phone. But yeah, it's kind of like the same caper of the JFK files. Like you're just going to go in and see all these PDFs.
Right.
Um, but yeah, it's well worth going into. I just kind of gave maybe 20 minutes looking into it there today. But again, this is supposed to be the first batch, and there's supposed to be more. That's weird, lad. The site it won't leave me into the site.
It won't let you in the phone either.
My phone either.
Mm.
Let me just check now. That's strange because I was looking at it today. Alien.gov. Aliens.gov maybe. I don't know. What's your opinion on all that?
Well, like when you texted me about it yesterday, I was saying like prepare to be underwhelmed. I suppose you know.
Yeah,
I just don't see the day that they're ever going to go. Here's some fucking real good quality footage. You know, like
yeah,
there's been people who like presented photographs and said this photograph is a real alien. Um, it's
I
always kind
seen
of
that
grainy and
one.
shit like that, yeah. But you know, but
Yeah, it's the grey alien, isn't
they're
it? Or
just not
apparently it was an
I
interview
think
or
they're
something.
just fucking with us, like you know.
I can't fucking, my internet's after going shite here now. I'm after turn off my Wi-Fi and it's gone shit in the phone as well. That's funny. Yeah, but
They're
like,
hacking in, John.
yeah, Jesus. Tim Burchett, Joe that fella, he's a governor there. He's on Congress. He's the fellow with a real southern accent from America.
Okay.
But you would see him talking about UFOs all the time himself. And this other one, Paula, what's her name? Forget her name now. Luna something. I
No,
don't fuck forget her name. But anyway, he was on Joe Rogan there. I think it was yesterday or the day before. So I've listened to half that episode, and he's fully on board with Trump. Like he reckons Trump is still he's against the system. Um, that he doesn't give a fuck. Basically, he's just going to release whatever he can release. Compared to any other president that was there before. And But there you go. Like how much stuff is actually there that the government have, because they're on about, like, for the last 70, 80 years, this legacy program, and they're on about it in that documentary as well, Age of Disclosure. So back since the 40s, basically, that these private industries, we've talked about this before, that they have had the contracts from black budget programs with the government, and they're in charge of all these reverse engineering, back engineering projects. So they probably have all these files, like, you don't know.
Mm.
They could literally have these, there could be loopholes there where all these files, well, most of the telling files are being kept in bunkers or storage rooms belong or at the properties of these, are privatized, belonging to these companies. So technically they're not belonging to the state then, so they can't release them.
Mm.
Do you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Stuff like that. Like, I'd say there's a lot of loopholes like that where
yeah,
they're going to avoid, um like, the, what do they call that, the Freedom of Information Act and stuff. So obviously, you know,
yeah,
they always say that that's how you can get a lot of this information out here, like they're on about COVID and gain of function kind of stuff, and Anthony Fauci. A lot of that came from
yeah,
Freedom of Information Act. But if they don't have the right shit to be able to get out there, then how are you going to get it out there? Like,
yeah, yeah. Like, do you think that like these government officials have any real fucking power at all? Like, because these politicians will come and go, but institutions like the CIA and the FBI and that they're not
yeah,
going anywhere, and they're tightly controlled. And I'd say they're only kind of, I suppose, I think they're a law unto themselves, really, aren't they?
like
They'll do whatever the fuck they want,
the president's only caretaker for
Mm,
4 years, 8 years if he's lucky, if
mm.
she's lucky. Um, but how
Like
many
we
years?
still don't know who killed Kennedy, like, do you know?
No,
Do you
no.
know? But somebody does. And
No, Burchett was on about, he was in this meeting around the time of the JFK files were coming out, and he was talking to a guy in the meeting, and it was basically saying that there was two bullets used. Sorry, he was a medical. I think he was a doctor that was involved in looking at the autopsy or something for JFK, and he said in a meeting, I don't know, you'll have to check that up now, but he was saying in that meeting with Congress or whoever the fuck it was, that there was two bullets needed or two bullets used.
mm,
So it wasn't a simple case of ricochet.
yeah,
Um, and anyone at the time, like back then, even now, that are trying, there's no one asking these questions. There's no one asking them questions back then. Um, but people are being threatened, like their jobs are being threatened. Look, if basically, they might be going out there to kill them, but they might be just threatening their jobs. And that's what
yeah,
the Burchett was saying, what's happening with
mm,
everything, like what's happening with all these files, all energy, like if there's perpetual energy or 0 point energy or something that's there, that's how easily they can suppress it from coming out. Like
yeah,
the thing of all these scientists that are going missing, or like that girl, I think we mentioned her the last day. That story, she was out for a walk with her friend,
mm.
and I think was she an astrophysicist or something like that, an astroscientist. Um,
And what? She was only just off about 50 meters or 100 meters ahead of
Out
them
for
or
a
something,
walk.
and gone.
She turned around and she was gone. No sign of her, and no sign of her
Crazy,
since.
crazy.
Now, unless she made up a part of the story and she was forced to make up that part of
Yeah.
the story, who
And
knows?
it's funny, like when you posted a video there from our interview with Jamie Deluxe on TikTok,
Yeah.
and that's basically kind of what he was saying, that people who they're in well-paid jobs, they're not going to rock that boat, like,
Why would they? Like, how hard is it now to even own a home now? And that goes for America
Yeah,
too. It goes for
yeah,
most places around
yeah,
the world. Like,
mm,
people are desperate to fucking make a living for themselves,
yeah,
and
yeah.
why would they jeopardize that? Like,
That's it. And then, like, it's kind of like, what was Pablo Escobar's famous line? Something like, "Do you want silver or lead?
silver
You know,
lit plateau or
or
plomo.
gold or lead, your choice," sort of thing. So
Yeah,
it's like, well, I take this well-paid job, keep my fucking mouth shut, and live a good life, or
yeah,
risk myself, risk my family's lives. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Um,
Would you,
that
John? What would you do? What would you do in this kind of a situation?
well, from where I am now, I'd be saying, fuck that. I'll try and get it out there as best I can. But like, it's that's very easily said.
Mm.
It's easy to say that when you're not part of that system or you
Yeah,
don't
and do you
have
know
that
what?
money in front of you. You don't have that
People don't.
comfort.
Yeah, people don't listen to whistleblowers really either. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
you tell someone something crazy and they'll go, ah, if that was true, somebody would say something. You go, but when someone does say something,
say something.
they're
Yeah.
just dismissed as a fucking lunatic. Do you
No,
know?
you have had like the likes of Commander David Freer, David Favor, I think this is, yeah. So he was basically a fighter jet pilot, or so he was sorry, a commander, and they were seeing this tic tac object that was hovering at sea level and was staying there for a while, and it did zip up like 30,000 or 50,000 feet, something mad like that,
Mm,
into the sky. And then there was multiple sightings of other crafts in the area.
mm,
And this stuff is not just wasn't just seen by other pilots as well, but it was that's the tic tac footage of them tracking the tic tac and
yeah.
by whatever camera off a jet or something. So it's literally there, and it was released.
Mm,
I think I don't know, it was back in 2021 or something, from 2004. And then there's this other guy, Ryan Graves. Have you heard about him?
no.
Um, so he was involved in the aerospace. Funny enough, I'm actually a member of him. And another man that's a member of him as well, and he's working with him in some capacity, uh, was Chris Gaffney, who's on the show there early, whatever, last May. So Jimber, I said I was contacting Chris to see, just to be nice to have Chris on to see
Mm,
what was his take on this whole thing of Trump planning for a big disclosure. And he messaged me back that time, probably a month ago, whatever it was, and saying that he'd basically tied up in this at the moment. I'm just trying to get the correct name of it because it's a great place for people actually to sign up. Sorry, Americans for Safe Aerospace. So ASA, right? So if you sign up for that, you'll get a lot of updates like of basically what it is it's a place where pilots can log sightings, right? So it's set up almost for whistleblowers as well, but it's a platform for pilots and any other aircraft users, as far as I know, to log their sightings. And I'd be getting stuff like I got a thing there 24th of April, which was funnily enough my birthday. Um, Ryan Graves and ASR heading to EAA Air Venture 2026 from July 20th to 2026, Wisconsin. Come find us at booth 3128 to see a live demo of our new UAP reports platform. Submit a UAP report and participate in our UAP survey. We will also have events happening throughout the week. The pace of UAP reporting and public engagement continues to accelerate from commercial aerospace incidents over the North Atlantic to a growing national conversation about what aviation professionals are witnessing and why it matters. And then it says, this week we are bringing you the latest UAP report from our database, a first-hand opt from a retired FAA controller and commercial pilot, and more from the front lines of aerospace transparency. So, and that's basically set up for a place for pilots to log what they've seen, which wasn't
interesting.
really there before, like,
Yeah. Do you know I have a
Um,
cousin actually who's a fucking air traffic controller. Maybe I should ask him if he's ever heard
class top.
any rumblings.
Where is he, Shannon?
Yeah,
She's class. That'd be unreal,
yeah,
actually. Yeah, you
yeah,
should.
yeah. I should. Yeah, I should reach out to him. Um,
Your man Burchett was on about though when he was talking to like pilots and stuff. They were telling him like if you said something to your superior about seeing something, they'd put you through this like test after this sight test and stuff, and they basically take you off the air for I don't know a couple of weeks or whatever it is, and they put you through this rigorous test to see, are you fit?
yeah,
Like, and why
yeah.
would you
That's
put yourself through that? Like, See, so it's a
That's it.
deterrent in itself.
I think that's what I was going to say. I'd say that that's probably a deterrent, just to
Yeah.
keep your mouth shut when you see something.
Ryan Graves was, I think, was he a commander as well? But a fighter jet pilot, and himself and a couple of others, like they seen, I think there was either one or there was multiple UFOs that were near a base, and they were there for hours, I think, and then they went away and came back.
Mm.
I think that was the case that because they were after updating their radar at the time. No, don't ask me how long ago it was. I want to say 2018, 2019. It might be way off. But yeah, they updated their radar at the time, and they reckon if they were using the older radar, they wouldn't have picked it up.
Right.
But like, there's multiple
Interesting.
stories like that going down through the years. We've talked about this, like of nuclear silos or nuclear weaponry being activated at
Mm,
the controls, and there'd be a sighting of UFO at the base,
mm,
and then it could be very near the launch, and it did turn off again, and bang, the UFO is gone to be seen on the radars.
yeah. Yeah.
Like, what do you think all that is? Like, do you think there's something like there has to be something to it? Like, if all these officials are coming out, they're going to Congress, they're putting their reputation on the line, basically.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I mean, the conspiracy theorist to me thinks it's a lot of it is like just. I suppose I sometimes I just feel like it's all theater. Do you know? That
Yeah,
just that I don't, but I don't know. Like I understand the like people say they're covering things up because they want to they want to maintain power and control, and if they do come clean, people are going to be talking about, what can this technology do, and all of a sudden maybe the conversation, do we need the so-called fossil fuels anymore? Do we need oil? And that, that's a lot of power gone for people, and I think whatever they're going to do, they're not going to allow us to have technology that's going to let us out of their control. Do you know what I
no,
mean?
no,
So, like, the dreams of people saying, oh, in the future we'll all be, by 2025 we'll all be flying cars and stuff like that. They're never going to allow that, because that's too much freedom for people, and
mm.
it's too difficult for them to control us. So,
When,
like, all the technology, I would say, like, if there is a case that they have found otherworldly technology, advanced technology, or maybe even fucking, like, a friend who has theories that they might have discovered technology from a bygone civilization. This technology could be thousands of years old that they just rediscovered or whatever,
yeah,
you know. But
mm,
whatever it is, they're only going to take the bits from it that are going to allow them to control us more in terms of surveillance and things like that, you know.
no, that makes
That's
sense.
like when you look at how technology has advanced since since I was a teenager. You know, it's all basically the same shit, except we have the internet now, we have mobile phones and stuff like that, but really all we've got is more surveillance and more control. They see everything that we do. We've no privacy. We're hardly using cash anymore, do you know?
Yeah,
Um,
and everything sold as convenience. At it.
and not just that, but for our protection, do you know. Sorry lads, we just, we're putting like, do you remember when the days of Amazon, where they started installing cameras into all the vans and stuff, because to protect the drivers, it was for your
Mm,
protection. It wasn't to fucking just watch you all day long as well, like,
yeah.
so
Did you
um
did you hear this mad one about what they're bringing in 2020? Is it 2028 or something in America? They're going to make it mandatory for all cars to have cameras in them, and they'll be tracking your face, basically seeing, are you drunk at the wheel, are you tired?
mm, yeah, there you
Um,
go, like, there you go, exactly.
yeah, I'll have to look that up.
um,
What they say there,
yeah,
new law.
I think the only real agenda they have is more control, consolidating their power, expanding their power, and we are never going to get truth from any fucking government in the world. They're never going to say, we think you're all mature enough now to handle this new information, that we have been visited and we are in contact, and
Well,
I don't think they're ever going to do that.
Well, no,
unless it's
yeah.
part of the whole Project Blue Beam.
Or are they just going to, because there is this push from a lot of people for governments to release information, and obviously if they don't want to, because the powers that be that are probably more than likely the privatized companies like your weapon manufacturers that are at the helm of this, and they're in cahoots with the big petroleum
Mm,
companies.
mm,
So like how many people have died, like or weird accidents, like the fella that made the car that could be powered in water,
yes.
stuff like that, like,
Yeah.
and electricity, like it just looks like you'll be driving down the road and you just see electric cable and it just looks so like, fuck it,
We
we
still
surely
deal with
have much
this.
more technology and
Absolutely.
more advanced than that.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
like, if it's not profitable, why would, or if it is profitable, why would they change it? But
Mm,
instead of giving no information, let's give them a snippet of information and make it out that this is all we got. And
mm,
maybe that'll keep them happy. That'll keep them a little bit satisfied and docile.
yeah.
And give them a little treat.
Is there
Don't
is
feed them
there
too much. Just give them a little snippet.
do you think there's a call from the average Joe Normal for this? Do you think like the guy, your average fucking blue collar, white collar guy, whatever, he's going to work, he's paying his bills. Do you think he really gives a fuck? You know,
Well,
I don't think there's a demand
we can
from the
use.
public for answers.
Well, you have the likes of. Yeah, I think the more kind of pressure that's coming from is from these pilots, like these people witness that are coming out now as
Mm,
whistleblowers, and they're trying to be protected, and they're trying to put
mm,
acts forward that will protect the whistleblowers. Um, so they're not put in prison basically and stuff, but they go into these gifts, basically where they give a certain amount of information that won't be released to the public, but gives them protection to give the information to Congress or whoever it is.
yeah,
I think that's who's pushing it. You have these likes of investigators like Charles Knapp, Jeremy Corbell, like or not Charles Knapp, George Knapp, sorry, um, stuff like that. Like I think it's a lot of pressures from the journalists. I think,
yeah.
like
But
that
like,
Bob.
sorry.
Go on, go on.
No, I was just going to say, like, when you're talking about pilots and stuff, um, does have you ever looked into the theories about that they're lying to us about about? Sorry, a little fella walking through here. Um, where was I? Yeah, have you heard anybody talking about that they're lying to us about how the plane technology works and the engines and the planes? That they're lying to us
Right.
about that, and the fuel consumption of the planes, and I'd have to do a little bit more looking into it, but the gist of it is that the amount of fuel they're suggesting that they're pumping because the fuel is supposed to be held in the wings of the plane, as far as I understand, that it's too heavy for the plane. They're supposed to be pumping in like huge amounts of fuel into these planes, and it's just not making sense. And there was a whistleblower from Boeing was whacked there in his car there
That's right. Yeah.
a couple of years ago, and I think that he was talking about that. And I've seen people talking about like,
Aircraft
you know,
rings, yeah, is where they're stored.
yeah, and those wings are quite fragile, and there's loads of examples of like planes having little accidents, and you see how the damage, like like a plane tipping off a building or tipping off off a vehicle or something like that, it crumples on impact, and those planes are very delicate, and those wings are very light.
Jeez, I never knew that before. Here, I'll show you this picture now.
And when you see them fueling up planes and stuff, they fuel them up very quickly, and they just have a little truck, small little truck.
Look at
Um,
this. Look at this one here, look.
mm,
Shit. Look, apparently the pink there is
all the
fuel.
fuel is. Yeah,
Thanks.
so they're saying like I can't now.
Jesus.
I should have. I didn't know we were going to be talking about this, so I should have had some notes. But they're talking about like fucking truckloads of fuel is supposedly going into them. Do you know?
Yeah.
Like, um,
No.
and so the
Yeah, I get you.
suggestion is that
I
this
get you.
technology is not what they're telling us it is at all, and that they're using the fuel just for basically taking off and landing, running the engines for the takeoff. But after that, it's doing something different.
See, this is where we'll have to get like an aircraft engineer on the show,
Mhm.
because or someone like that. We'll have to add that onto the list of
Yeah,
people get onto, someone to put us
yeah,
in our place. But no, that's an interesting one. Never heard that one now before.
yeah.
I was
Like
thinking maybe
next time you're
there's
on a
multiple
plane now,
tanks,
like
lone tanks in
have
the
a look
middle
at
of
them
the plane.
fueling them up and stuff. It's just a little fucking car. It's like the size of my own car, like
Yeah.
with a little hose that fucking clips in underneath the wing.
Now maybe the engines are, ultra efficient or something. I don't know. Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Mm,
I have there, right? So we're on about the cars. So by around 2027, US law, um, via the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, requires new cars to have advanced AI-powered camera systems that monitor drivers in real time for impairment or distraction.
yeah, lovely.
Fucking
Just
hell,
more,
right?
just more surveillance, more like, and it's always because we care about you. We're just afraid you're going to fall asleep at the wheel. We're afraid you're going to be a drunk driver. We're just worried about you and keeping everybody safe. And that's always the fucking. It's either a convenience or it's safety. Do you know? But it's never because we just want more of your information. We just want to watch everything that you're doing. And
Did
I
you
saw
ever
this world.
see? Go on,
Go
sorry.
on. I saw this World Economic Forum video there a couple of years ago, and
Right.
it was depicting this future where no, you won't have a private car. It'll be lovely. You'll call for your car, and when it arrives at your house, fucking John will be in the car. You'll have a chat with John. He's going his way, and maybe someone that you don't even know that you'll get to know on the journey. And then it went
Mm,
on to describe how you'll do your shopping and how meat will be a treat. It won't be a staple. It'll just be a treat and stuff like this. And it's all for your health. It's all for the environment. It's all for convenience. It's all for bringing the community, but it'll bring the community together when you have to fucking carpool every day. You know,
yeah, 100%. And what about the millionaires and the billionaires? How, are they going to travel like that too? Doing
no,
their
this is just for the
fuckless, they'll be in their
peasants. Just
private
for the
jets.
peasants.
Um, Another thing while we're on planes, right? So what way did they brace you on a plane in case there was a crash or impact? What way did they tell you brace for impact? Head, hands in the head like they spin down,
And
and
put
your
your head
face
between
on
your
top of your
legs.
head
Mm,
towards the front seat. And man, just think of simple fucking physics. What you think is going to happen there when you're flung forward? You'll
yeah,
break your fucking neck,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
Actually,
They
there
want
was a
they want you to
crash.
die from a crash.
Yeah, it
So
basically sounds like. But
no
there was a
no
crash.
payouts or
There was a
few
crash
payouts.
in where was it? Was it in the Philippines or Vietnam or something? And it crashed at the airport, I think, and almost everyone died except a couple of Irish lads survived this. Remember
Irish
that?
Irish lads.
And the
No.
reason they survived because they were sitting at the front and all the seats had folded in on everyone. And everyone just got crushed like dominoes. The seats just went bump, 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 bump. And that's how they survived because
Jesus.
they were at the front.
Well, you'd be
It
thinking
was a
the
couple,
front of the
it
plane
was
be
it
the worst.
was a couple of years ago. I think the plane had already landed or something, but it crashed on landing or something like that.
Yeah, but I'd say the best way to probably is if you were is to hold on to brace yourself at the front of the front seat like
Mm,
this and just get ready to hold yourself up. Because yeah, like straight away you're thinking of insurance payouts,
mm.
and
Do
stuff.
they pay out the families in that situation?
If they died,
Do they
yeah,
compensate families
they do, but it's minimal compared to the payout
if they
that
survive?
that if you're injured and you
If they're injured,
survived,
yeah, okay, yeah, yeah,
because you'll be
yeah,
paying for lots of earnings in and things.
yeah.
Um, So yeah, there you go in safety. Like you always have to
Mm,
question shit like that.
mm.
You may have said something else. Oh yeah, there's another movie they're after doing another version of it. No, I haven't watched it, but it's more kind of kid friendly. It's directed by your man that did The Hobbit, or not The Hobbit, Gollum.
Peter
What's his name?
Jackson.
Yeah, but no, but the fella that played Gollum, Andy
Oh,
Serkis,
couldn't tell you. Okay,
right? Animal Farm from George
I
Orwell.
heard about it. Yeah, I
I've
heard
seen a
about
few
it.
clips. Yeah, yeah.
The
Um,
Critical Drinker did a review on it as well. I think was it the Critical Drinker?
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. They changed the ending.
Right.
Just
I think
fucking
they
like go on.
introduced the character into it as well. But I only seen a few clips like, but it's mad kind of stuff like the same thing of whoever that was leading that. I can't remember the name of the pig, but it's like, oh, it's all for your safety, and here's a
Mm,
barn full of food that's constantly or meal that and grain whatever it is meal that's constantly full. For you just complete freedom. You can do whatever you want. You can eat it like, but basically making them, I suppose, adore him like as a
mm.
leader, this and that. But what was he doing in the background? you know, and there was one pig, one she kind of taking the lead at the start, and her
Oh,
ethos
they
was to
must have
treat
sex
everyone the
swapped
same.
as well because they were all males. All the leaders in the original one
Oh,
were
so
males.
there
It
you
was
go. So
Napoleon and Snowball. I think Snowball was the first guy,
it's not, yeah,
and Napoleon, and I think he's supposed to represent fucking is it Lenin or Trotsky or one of these guys, and
right. Yeah,
Napoleon represents the other one.
it was Russian communism was based off, wasn't it?
Yeah, Soviet Union, I think.
Yeah, and yeah, so they sex swapped Snowball. So
Mm.
she's a woman in this one, and there's a clip there of Napoleon, voiced by Seth Rogen, and he was sending her one off. She goes, "Oh, you're just so tired. You looked so tired after looking after all of us. You need a vacation." And she goes, "No, no, I don't." And she goes, "Ah, you do. You need a vacation. Off you go. We'll see you when you come back, because you'll definitely be back." And off she goes. The dogs are after her, you know, and she
Mm.
never comes back.
Mm.
Well, he in the old one,
Yeah, yeah,
but it's a great allegory, like, for, as you were talking about there, like, you know, we look after you. It's all for your own benefit.
yeah. And then like it
Um,
started off with what was the line? All animals are equal. That was the one of the golden rules. All animals are equal.
yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
one day the animals are looking up at the fucking basically their Ten Commandments was on the side of the barn. They're all looking up, going, "Jesus, it changed because it says now all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others." You
Hmm.
know, this kind of shit. But
Yeah,
um,
yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, you gotta love
Um,
Orwell. But then like I like again, I'm like I just I trust nobody, and I just feel like they elevate characters like George Orwell, and they put like any book I think they push on secondary school students, they're pushing it for a reason.
mm,
Did you do it in school?
yeah.
No.
Did I what?
Did you do Animal Farm in school? No.
Never did in school, no.
No.
Did you?
Yeah, we did. We should have done 1984 though. That would have been a better one.
Yeah, that's not covered at all in school, like, is it?
As far as I know, no, it isn't. No.
I don't see the point in covering William Shakespeare and all at school, like. Wouldn't it be better off to
Yeah,
study something
that's
like that?
John. Do you know what? It's
George
funny, like,
Orwell.
because I was telling you, I was reading. I'm nearly halfway through it. It's a short book. How to Slay a Wizard by
Oh,
Owen
big
Benjamin,
one. Yeah.
and it's only 160 pages. So, a good reader would read it in an afternoon, but there's so much information, so many nuggets. And I was sitting here last night with a fucking pen and paper, kind of just taking notes and stuff. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, fuck, like I never studied like this when I was in school because the shit wasn't interesting, do you know? They just bore you to fucking tears with these fucking plays and these poems
Yeah.
that don't do anything for you. Myself and the wife were talking about Seamus Heaney the other day. Did you do any Seamus Heaney poetry back in the day in school?
I did, but I think it was nearly junior cert, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I remember being in first year doing fucking, what was it called again? Was it called Advent? No. It was
I
it was,
actually can't remember him now, to be
or no, it
honest.
was midterm break. Midterm break's what it's
Oh,
called.
primary school, so I'd say.
No, it was first year, I think. I think it was 12 or
Could have been
13
so,
when I was.
maybe, yeah.
Anyway, midterm break, just like depressing shit, like, the story about a boy like who the poem is basically about he's away at boarding school and he's in the office because he's going to be brought home because his 4-year-old brother's been fucking killed in a car accident. Do you know? And it's just this
Hmm.
fucking dreary, depressing shit. It ends a 4-foot box, a foot for every year. And it's like the sun is fucking shining outside. Do you fucking think that any 12-year-old on planet Earth would
Uh,
voluntarily be doing this? Do you know? It just
yeah.
sucked the soul out of you when you're in school. Do you know? And I feel guilty like making the kids do their homework here sometimes because it's just such fucking drivel. Like,
Lad,
you
it's
know,
compliance. It's compliance.
it is.
Like,
Yeah. And
just a a
just
simple thing
the way they
of,
use
go on.
the way they use words and stuff. And I heard someone saying there the other day like that, you go to school and you put on your uniform and it's about conforming.
Yeah.
And then it's not about information, it's about keeping you in formation, just
There
like
you
give them
go.
all the same
There you
shit.
go.
And it's all spell words and it's all brainwashing and just getting everybody just to
Toe the line.
just
Fall
just
the line.
hurt us all along.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah. And then like we're talking about whistleblowers and stuff, and we're talking about people like are they going to give up their jobs and stuff and their money? But it's even more than that because it's like people are terrified of stepping out of line and terrified of being different and having to have conversations with their family and friends that they know are going to raise eyebrows.
Mm.
I feel like there's another book about that we did before, but
Or
yeah,
be
it's just
ridiculed or
just fear of ridicule, and they say like
mm.
one of the scariest things for people is public speaking. I think as well, like it's onto that is like being the fucking odd one out. Everybody just
Yeah,
wants to fucking go along to get along, and
yeah,
they're
exactly.
afraid. They're afraid that their friends are
Afraid to
going to
be
call them
different.
conspiracy theorists, and I think
Mm.
that was a lot of the reason why. Like I know there was a lot of reasons why people took those vaccines, but I think there's a big chunk of the population who didn't want to take them, and they still took them because they were afraid of having a conversation with their wife or having a conversation with their colleagues or co-workers, because they knew there was absolutely going to be pushback from basically everybody around them if they did. Do
Yeah.
you know? We're all cowards. And if the whole fucking everyone's a fucking coward. Do you know? And like I heard someone saying before, the opposite of courage isn't cowardice, it's conformity. Just fucking doing what everybody else is
Mm.
doing, and being not stepping out of line. Rant over
And
there.
no, very good, very well put together point there. And like even like you're on about school uniform and stuff, getting up in the morning, like are kids really learning in the morning for the first hour or two? Like they're shaded inside the room, you know.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
you're sculpting them their habit into getting up early, coming back from school maybe 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. What time do jobs start? Jobs start at the same time. They finish at the same time roughly.
Mm.
So you're getting them ready for that life, that working life.
Mm.
Like where do you use quadratic equations? Only for like an
Yeah.
engineer
I
or
know.
mathematician
Yeah.
or whatever
Yeah.
physics
Yeah.
physician, okay? And taught to everyone in school. And algebra, right? Shakespeare, like unless you go
Poetry.
into literature or something, poetry.
Mm.
I think poetry. Like I remember, you were talking about that midterm break. I remember William's Wordsworth, is the only one I ever heard, I only really remember, and it was about daffodils. And
I
she's
wandered
after
lonely as a cloud.
wandered lonely as a cloud,
Yeah, I remember
that
that one.
floats on
Yeah.
high over vales and hills, and all at once I saw a crowd, a pack of golden
Host.
daffodils.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember that.
that's
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can remember that as a
But
bit of happy
because
innocent
we're all
one.
in the class is fucking everyone's just a host of golden
Yeah,
daffodils beside the lake beneath the trees. Do you know, it's in my
yeah.
head now and I don't think about it. I don't care about it. But,
But there should be more stuff like there should be stuff taught in school how to invest your money, do you know, how to manage your
yeah,
money.
yeah.
And again, you're taught how to work for a business company. Like you're taught, I didn't do business in school, but you're taught basically about tax, and you just kind of like the basic principles of
Mm.
business of a business. But you're not taught like are you given life skills like really?
No, absolutely not. Like we could have gone to school. We could have learned how to change the oil filter, the fuel filter, the air filter in the car, how to change your
Yeah,
spark plugs, how to fucking hang a curtain, how to just basic,
yeah.
just basic electrician stuff,
You could
basic mechanic
argue
stuff.
home ec you could argue maybe gives you a bit of gives you a bit of life skills cooking and stuff. What
Yeah,
else?
absolutely. I suppose we
Art,
just
creativity.
yeah they started bringing in computers and stuff in the late 90s as well. So you probably did computers as a leaving cert subject, did you?
No, I didn't know that was only
It was available to you, though, was it?
it was, but it wasn't. Yeah, it was, but it wasn't an exam subject. Engineering. No, I enjoyed engineering.
But you
I
see,
did.
there you go. Like, and if a guy has an aptitude for something like that, then yeah, do you know what, man? You're into this shit, but you're gonna have to learn the maths. The maths is a little bit difficult. But some guy
Yeah,
who's a musician, he's wasting his fucking time. He should be studying
yeah.
music or things that you're talented at, because there's loads of different types of intelligence as well.
Oh, 100%.
And
Yeah.
and and people live their whole lives thinking they're fucking retarded because they just weren't good in school or whatever. You know. And
But most
I
of
knew
school is a
I
memory
knew a guy who
test as
used
well,
to.
Niall.
Sorry.
Most of school is a memory test anyway. Sure, what
Yeah.
intelligence is that?
Yeah, that's it. And it's like I'm reading that book last night now, and it's interesting. So I'm studying it. I'm fucking taking
Mm,
notes. I'm thinking about what I'm reading, and I'm really into it, and I'm enjoying the information. But it's not a chore. It's not difficult. I'm not. I'm
mm.
just not fucking being dragged through this, like, because I have to do fucking chemistry now here today, like, and what the fuck, this kind of shit.
Yeah, what I like about practical subjects, right, is so your engineering, your construction. you're put with projects, right, that you have to solve problems, right? So you can design through sketching, um, through CAD drawing, computer aided drawing. You use 3D modeling software. So there's a bit of using your imagination there and using technical skills there as well. Um, but again, when it comes to like core subjects, I think I think it's a shame that I can't speak Irish. I only know a few words, couple of fuckle like, but I don't think schools should be scrapping Irish at all. I think it should be
No,
taught in a better way though. Like
but
it's
I
taught as a punishment or something. It's taught as
mm,
in such a boring way. Like we studied for like 12 years, we're still not fluent in the fucking thing.
yeah, yeah, and I think it'd be very easy if there was an agenda to get everyone in Ireland speaking Irish. All the road signs would be in Irish. They could say, look, all advertising now has to be in Irish, and just you
Yeah,
could just bombard the public with it, and
yeah.
people would start to pick it up, and you could make Irish, the main language in primary schools, starting now, you know, and the future
Mm.
generations. Like my lads are fairly good at it now. To be fair to them, like,
Ah, that's class.
they'd surprise you, like.
Yeah.
Um, we're at the age now, like, where my 7-year-old is quizzing me, like, do you know the Irish word for this? Do you know the Irish word for that? They're passing me out, like,
Oh,
but at
brilliant.
least I'm
Yeah.
picking up, like you say, picking up the Kupla Fuckle as well, and we do use it every day, just even simple things like,
Oh, that's
you know,
great. Yeah. It's savage to keep it alive that way.
um, yeah, it's nice, and I find as well like that when in my daily life, if I'm chatting to someone and I say Slán, you know, 9 times out of 10 you're going to get Slán Bhaile or Slán Gafol or something like that from the other
Sometimes you
person,
might get a funny old look as well, though.
Yeah, sometimes I say it to an Indian fella, I go, do you go with? What's that do? No, I don't.
Do you know what I do? If I'm ever in a country, right, and if I'm walking past the market and you're ready to say, "Oh, come in,"
Mm,
I'll be going, "Consatatu Makara." I'll be like,
mm,
"Do you go with?" And
yeah, yeah.
then Roberta would be with me. She goes, "John, what are you doing?" I says, "If I speak a language you don't understand, they're not going to bother me."
Yeah,
Do you know?
yeah, 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 yeah.
But like in primary school with your lads, no, did they say their prayers in Irish still?
John, I don't think they do prayers.
Yeah.
As far as I know, they don't do prayers.
What you think of that?
Um,
I thought it was a nice touch in school, but
yeah, I never had a problem with it. Like, we used to, in my primary school, we used to sing as I'd not all the way up through primary school, but when you're at the junior levels, the smaller classes or whatever, there'd always
junior
be,
infants, senior infants.
yeah, there'd always be a song before lunch and after lunch, basically just, what, it's just expressing gratitude for your family
Mm.
and the food you're eating and happy for your life, and
The
if you want,
stands
like,
are made
some
the
some
food.
people would say, you know, they'd be cynical and they'd say, be thanking God for that shit or whatever. But look, gratitude is the key as well to happiness, I think.
Yeah.
Actually, it's something that Owen Benjamin was talking about in the book. I thought it was very good. He said the opposite of envy is gratitude. If you're looking at what other people have and thinking, fuck, I don't have that, I don't have this, then how can you be happy for what you've got?
You're never going to be
And
happy.
who was this? Was it you who was saying it to me? Somebody said to me recently as well, like that. No, it was Thomas Sheridan actually. It was Thomas Sheridan was saying that if, the more grateful you are, the more you draw things to you that you're going to be also grateful for. You're kind of
100% you're
you're
putting out that
you're putting
positive
yeah, yeah,
energy, like,
yeah,
yeah, so you're going to
yeah,
get positive energy.
yeah,
It's a good way to be, but like even conspiracies and stuff, like if you're constantly spending your day looking into all that shit and Twitter and fucking X lads, you'll be scrolling,
mm,
YouTube shorts, it's fucking the algorithm just can catch you, like.
yeah,
But you
yeah,
can get yourself into dark places there, like, and it's not that fucking healthy, is it? I know it's good to question stuff and trying to
yeah,
figure out what's behind the veil of things, whatever. But
mm,
as you said there, it's good to have a bit of positivity behind it as well.
yeah, definitely,
You don't have
definitely.
to fill your life with all that shit. But
Mm,
on another conspiracy thing here, right? I've another thing here that I spotted during the week. Did you see that mad shit of a box of ticks being dropped? Apparently, I saw a video into an American's farm, and apparently it's been reported by many farmers across America. So you'd have this box, a metal box that a farmer would find in his field, and there'd be thousands of ticks.
mm. No,
What
I
does
haven't
that
heard anything about that.
what does that remind you of?
Well, it's some sort of Bill Gates plan to fucking have everyone bitten by ticks and then they're fucking allergic to meat or some shit like that.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Man,
but I don't know. They're on about it with Tim Burchett. It was gas like the way everyone's. What I find like if you go be listen to podcasts, people are kind of like are curious about stuff, and I'd find that stuff you might see yourself on social media would match up with what they see as well, and they're living in different sides of the world than you are,
mm,
and there's the algorithm. Like the algorithm is feeding you
yes,
this
yeah,
thing, and you're on about like the stuff that's pushed out into the public. And if there's something behind the principle of all these conspiracy people, we'll give them this week, the algorithm will push it this week, and they'll all be talking about that.
hmm,
Keep them away from this,
hmm,
you
yeah.
know?
And I often wonder as well, like, do because sometimes they'll say things like, or I don't know who I'm talking about, but um, that we kind of manifest our own reality, and the more we think about stuff, the more we bring stuff into reality. Do you know
Mm,
you know what I'm saying? So if we're constantly thinking that these elites or whatever you want to call them are really powerful, it kind of maybe
yeah,
we're manifesting that power. And if
makes a
if we're if
reality.
we're all saying shit, we're really worried about these ticks that they're putting out there, then we're all thinking about it. Are we kind of, I don't know, we putting out a lot of negativity, bringing a lot of negativity to us as well.
I was listening to a good podcast there. Chris Matthew was on it, guesting, and the host of that podcast, I can't remember her name for sure now, but they were on about that same idea, right? Manifestation, bringing things into reality. Um, and they did herself and her co-host. I don't know how long ago, but they did this thought experiment, and it was more so coming from the co-host. She said, but they were to imagine a cat. So they'd draw this cat or something, or picture this cat in their head, and they were to go away individually, both of them, through the course of a week, and they'd think about the cat a lot during the day. Um, and I think she had a dream or something about the cat, and that she felt like that she was having one of these sleep paralysis moments, and the cat like was up on top of her chest and it was pushing down. It was the exact same cat
Mm,
that they had whatever drawn that your man had drawn, and that they were trying to basically bring into reality just as a thought experiment.
yeah.
And it was very sinister and it was like ghoulish and stuff and demonic looking. And then she whatever was able to get a bit of move her arms and just move it. And I don't know, she wake up, she felt like she was awake. Sure, they experiences that people be on about with sleep paralysis.
Mm,
So she was fair freaked out like by it. And she was very kind of like skeptical about it. But the other fella was mad into all that like consciousness and just manifestation stuff. But
mm,
she's literally said to her man, says, we have to stop this straight away. We have to stop this because I'm after having this experience. And what the fuck, like it was so realistic.
mm,
But there you go, like that's an
yeah,
example.
yeah.
And
Did you ever hear of sigil magic?
no, what's
I
that?
came across a guy before. He was talking about how you how you make a sigil. He said like it'll work for little things, won't work for big things. You won't be able to write a sigil that says I wish I find €1 million or whatever. But if you make one to say I want to find 20 quid or 50 quid, he was fairly convinced that it would work. But I attempted it one day, this years ago now. I was out in the back garden. It was a lovely sunny day, and I was just sitting out the back, and I was thinking, like, Jesus, when I was a kid, I remember like you'd be able to hear the insects. You'd hear all the, in the middle of summer, you'd hear all
Mm,
the bees going. And then I started thinking, do you know what? I haven't fucking seen any bees around in a while, and I'm right next to a golf course, and maybe there's a lot of pesticides or herbicides or some shit out there that might be killing them off or whatever. So anyway, long story short, I decided I'm going to write a sigil to say I want to see a bee. I wish to see a bee. So I did this sigil. So basically, what you do is as far as I remember, you write down your whatever your wish is. Then you scribble out the vowels and you put it all together again. And then from what's left over, I think you just start making a little design out of it. You just start connecting all the dots and turn it into something. And then and what you're left with is like what looks like a logo or something like that. And then you focus your attention on that for a while. And I think you can burn it or something like that. I think I burned it anyway. It was only a little piece of paper, and I burned it. And then I was sitting there in the garden, and I forgot. I didn't even think about it. And I swear to God, man, not 5 minutes later, a bee the size of my fist just went right past my.
Sure.
And I remember saying this to the lads, and they're going, "Niall, what are you on about?" Like, you know. But I think there's something to this, like, you know, that you can manipulate your reality and bring things in. There's something about there is magic there, I think. And I think
Mm.
things like the double slit experiment kind of show us, prove without any doubt that our own observations impact on our environment. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, what is magic, then, Niall? If you brought an iPhone back to a caveman, that's magic.
Mm,
Do you know? What if
yeah.
magic is something that it's a
What's the sign?
property of physics or the universe that we're not aware of yet?
Yeah.
Something to do with
Yeah.
consciousness. Like, sure, again,
Yeah.
consciousness is the universe is the consciousness.
Mm,
Do you know? And this
yeah.
3D dimension is a model of consciousness. Like, going back to your man that we've talked about a good bit, and my big toe. Fuck it. His name's gone off my head. But lad, you should listen to a few of his podcast episodes. It's fucking brilliant.
Who's this? What's his name?
Thomas Campbell.
Alice
Thomas
Campbell.
Campbell.
Okay.
Yeah, my big toe. But he worked with NASA for a small bit, I think, and then he's a physicist, like, but he's he's mad into like consciousness, and he believes that we're all receptors, almost like walkie-talkies of consciousness.
Mm,
And you can change your frequency, and you can reach the
mm,
different levels of realities and stuff, and we're receiving the three-dimensional
yeah.
reality
Five
here,
sense reality. Yeah.
five
Yeah.
sense
Yeah.
reality.
Yeah. I kind of think that that's probably true as well in the sense that I feel like we're receivers of consciousness, that consciousness isn't coming from inside our bodies.
Yeah,
I feel like we're like antennas receiving consciousness, and that
yeah,
when we
that's
die,
exactly, yeah, what he's
like
saying. Yeah,
the the talk show host isn't in the radio. You break the radio, he's okay. He's the signal is lost and it
mm.
goes back to its origin source. I think that's probably what happens with us.
Yeah, because it makes sense, because like, I'm going back to the thing with Michael Jackson there, and she's I'm my YouTube and all is just full of Michael Jackson these days. It's funny, but that clip that I was on about last week of him with
Mm,
the that journalist, and they're doing that documentary, Living
mm,
with Michael, whatever, and Michael just runs up to the tree, and he says, "This is my giving tree. I never showed this to anyone before, and this is." And then, like, this is where I receive a lot of my songs. Um, I get them from God or whatever's out there. I
mm,
don't come up with these songs myself. And then there's another clip then, and it was asking, how did you come up with Billie Jean? And this is, oh, that beat just came into my head. I was just driving my car one of the days, and it was, do you know that Billie Jean beat?
mm,
And then he goes, doon, 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 and it just came to my head. And he goes, how did that come? Like, was that just an internal thing? Like, what's your
mm,
process? And he goes, I don't know, God or something. It just
yeah.
came through me from God. But again, like, this is someone that's very artistic, who
Mm,
spent decades studying the art, and like, he obviously knows that he's this massive superstar, the biggest, the king of pop, like, but
yeah.
he's crediting his inspiration to something else.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people saying. I think it was Noel Gallagher saying something similar as well. That it just comes from somewhere else. But I think it's
Yeah,
when someone who they have an ear for music anyway or whatever, and they're focusing their attention and they're
yeah.
practicing all the
See,
time. They're
yeah,
focusing their attention, and the next thing we call it inspiration. Do you know? It's like
yeah,
when someone just has an idea. Like, do you ever experience having an idea and go, "That's a good idea," and then 2 minutes later you go, "What was that fucking? It's gone.
yeah.
Just
Exactly. It's
it's
gone.
gone. If you
Yeah,
don't write it
yeah,
down, it's gone." And
yeah.
I think maybe that's where inspiration comes from, where we're just picking up bits of information. Do you ever hear that? Actually, I think maybe we talked about this before. The monkeys on the island. Did we do
Go
this
on.
one before?
Maybe.
There was I think somewhere in the Philippines there was these monkeys, and they're indigenous to these few islands or whatever. But they're kind of they're locked in on these islands. They can't get off them.
Right.
So these scientists were doing an experiment where they started throwing fruit. They brought fruit or something to these or was the fruit grown or something? If the fruit was landing in the sand anyway, and the monkeys didn't were having problems getting the sand off the fruit or whatever, and it went on for years. And then one day, some young monkey took the fucking fruit that's covered in sand and he put it in the water, and all the other monkeys saw him figuring this out, and then they all understood it. But then when they went and did the same experiment on the next island, the monkeys got it almost instantly. You know, it was almost as if
Jesus.
they're connected to something. And there was another experiment that they did with England. It was in England and Australia. They had a television studio audience participate in this thing, and I think obviously the audience at home were watching. So millions of people in Australia were watching this, and basically it was one of these paintings, and they were saying it maybe I think it was a painting of a tree or something, and there's faces within the tree, or there's objects within the tree that you can't see, but you can kind of figure them out. There might be 50,
Mm.
and the average person in the audience managed to get sort of 8 out of the 50 or whatever like that. But then they gave everybody the answers, and so they gave all the people at home in Australia the answers. This was in the 70s or 80s, pre-internet. And then the next night in England, they did the same thing. They aired the same thing, but in England, the studio audience got way more correct, and they felt like it was some sort of a collective consciousness that we're all kind of plugged in to, that we don't realize, and that when one
Mm.
group figures something out, that the next group will figure it out faster, something like that.
Yeah, I've heard something similar to that as well. Um, and it makes sense, but like even a simple thing now, I know they say this is encoded into your DNA and stuff, but I think this is kind of a funny kind of concept, right? So, for example, if you had a dog, right, um, a puppy, a male puppy, and I'd say even if you didn't show him other dogs, and it's a simple concept of mating, right? So if you never showed him a dog or he never saw another dog mating,
Mm,
and then when he gets to a certain age where he has that bit of a hunger and the little pebbles are dropping and stuff, and he sees a female dog,
mm.
he'll obviously has that instinct to,
Instinct.
yeah.
Yeah.
And how does he know what to do? Like I've had that thought, like how the fuck does he know how to do? Like lot of some dogs probably haven't seen that at all, but he knows what to do. He get up, he go
Mm.
sniff around, and hop up on top for and go at it. And but
Yeah.
that's something that's built into the DNA. Like, but is that something
Mm.
else? Is that something that is maybe connecting to in terms of consciousness or something? Is that a memory that's there, that's picked up, or an instinct
Do you
that's
know,
picked up?
I don't know. It's funny that you say that. And my wife's been watching a lot of documentaries lately about cults. So she's fucking absorbed now with these cults, these cult leaders, and how they manipulate people and control them and
Jeez.
get them to fucking just basically telling these people, I'm the prophet and God's talking to me and he's telling me that, you know, you need to marry
Yeah.
him and you're not married to her anymore. You're married to her. And, you know, and they're all polygamous. They all have multiple wives and all this shit. Anyway,
Hmm.
she was telling me there was one group where they're completely isolated. They no internet, no television, no music, no nothing. They're just fucking the information they're getting is extremely controlled. And they were growing up like to be I think she said there was one girl, she was 19, she didn't know anything about sex. You know,
Hmm.
she thought that when people marry, they just kiss, and then the baby just arrives into her belly or whatever. She had no idea.
Hmm.
It seems hard to believe, like, but when you're cut off from the rest of the world and you're fed bullshit all your life,
Yeah, exactly. You don't
you're
know
going to
any
believe it.
different.
Like,
Hmm.
yeah, and God knows God knows what we're not seeing. I often think that you know, the elite, if you want to call them that, I don't know, we shouldn't really call them that, but these people in power that they have knowledge that they've been told from birth. They've been aware of all their lives, and they look at us and think we must be fucking morons not to be able to figure this out. Then, do you know what I mean? That
Yeah.
it makes them look at us like they really are animals if they don't know this, this, and this. Do you know? But because they've been taught it and they've known it all their life, so it's so fucking obvious to them. But to us, we've been compartmentalized. Kept in formation.
Yeah, and I think when you think of all these secret societies and stuff, and Joe the way, like if you were to say to someone there that doesn't really know anything about them, and say, "What do you think of secret societies?" And then they say, "What do you mean?" Like, I said, "What would be the first place where you've basically come across them before, and they could say something like, I don't know, like an old movie, or
Mm.
I don't know, some kind of like Indiana Jones kind of
Mm.
movie, or some kind of old, and then say, okay, what about the Freemasons though? Like the crowd from The Simpsons, is it? What were they called?
Yeah, the stonecutters. Yeah,
Stonecutters. It's like,
yeah,
and they'd be laughing and saying, no, what about the Freemasons? They're, oh, yeah, but they're not. Why, what? They'd be laughing at you then. They might
mm,
say, oh, did they
yeah.
do blood sacrifices of children? No, but they're an actual, they're a legit cult
Secret
or
society.
society. Like,
There's a
but
lodge in every fucking town in the world.
yeah,
Do you know?
yeah.
There's
And then
this
go to that one. What was the name of the bush? What was the name of that one? Skulls and Bones, isn't
Skull
it?
and Bones. Yeah,
Yeah, whatever university that was,
mm,
can't remember what it was, but I remember
Yale.
a talk show, Yale, and a talk show host asked him live on air one day,
Yeah,
um, tell us about
can't.
it.
He said,
It's a
I can't tell
secret.
you, but it's so secret. I don't even know if it's still going or something." He said it that, and
That
John
host
Kerry
died.
was running against him. And the same guy said to John Kerry, "So the two of you were in this secret society." And again, he just laughs it off. It's like, man, I'm not going to fucking talk to you about that. Get the fuck out of here, like, do you know?
It was Bush, wasn't
But
it?
yeah, it was Bush and John, what was his name? Bush and Kenny, I think.
But
John Kerry. Um, but you know, like, why
that host actually was questioning a lot of stuff, and he died under strange
did
circumstances,
Rick
didn't
go
he?
away? Did he? I don't know.
I'm trying to figure out his name. But stuff like that, the point I'm trying to make is stuff that in through pop culture and media and stuff and movies and all that's put into
Mm,
people's heads like, oh, this stuff is just conspiracies. It doesn't
mm,
actually exist. But
yes.
these fucking organizations and societies do exist. But
Mm,
the whole thing is what actually goes on behind closed doors, or what information may they have that
mm.
everyone else doesn't have, and what have they,
Yeah.
as you said, that point that you were making.
And how does it benefit them, and how does keeping us in the dark with it, benefit them?
Tim
But like,
Russert, have you ever heard of him?
actually, who?
Tim Russert.
No, is that the guy who was interviewing the lads?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
he
suppose like
died.
yeah, that was around 2000 when he was interviewing them. So that's 25, 26 years ago when he would have been talking to them about that.
Yeah, he only died a couple of years later or something, but it was very kind of like suspicious.
Mm,
He died at 58, cardiac arrest. But like he was questioning a lot of stuff like that, like, and I
mm,
think he was one of the first ones that was really looking into 9/11 as well and saying that there's something going on with it, I think. Sorry, what was the point you
right.
were making there? I cut across you.
No,
Secret
what I was going to say
societies.
then was like, yeah, the difference. So what then separates people like myself and yourself when we're presented with something, like somewhere along the line, something happened, and it piqued our interest. We heard something about secret societies. We heard something about what happened at 9/11 or something like that, and you realize, Jesus, that's very interesting. And then you want to know. Whereas, like you say, you could say to someone, "What do you think about the Freemasons?" And you could tell them there's a lodge in every town in the world nearly, and they've been going on for hundreds of years, and that you could name all the people that were from George Washington till now that were Freemasons, and it
Mhm.
just means nothing to them. It's like it's as if they don't have the curiosity, and humans are supposed
Stuck
to
in their
be like,
bubble.
yeah, like I heard somebody saying, like, he was talking about animals in reservations, right? And they've got huge
Mm.
reservations in Africa, and they keep all animals in there for hundreds of miles. But there's a fence. Eventually, the animals will come to a fence. And he said, the animals will come to the fence. They'll see the fence, and they'll look around, and they'll go, okay, and they'll just fuck back off. Whereas
Mhm.
there's something in humans that we want to go beyond the fence now. Now that we've found a fence, we want to see what's over the fence and whatever. But it seems like there's a huge percentage of the public that just don't give a fuck, like,
What's
that
that name of
that
that movie? Jim Carrey,
oh yeah,
Under the
yeah,
Dome one.
yeah, the Truman Show.
Truman Show.
Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
vast majority of people, if they were Jim Carrey, they would never have even cared to get out of there. Do you know they just wouldn't have had the curiosity or the ambition or whatever to I don't know, what is it about mysteries, what is it about secrets that people like
I
you and me want to know?
I think it's I think if you let it, life can be boring. It can be boring if you let it be boring. Like I've heard this phrase, boredom is an unrealized serenity. So when you're bored, like it's an actual, it's a privilege to be bored. Like would people that are like I don't know, say out in Africa that are starving and have to go
Mm,
walking for miles for
mm,
water, would they be
yeah.
bored? No, they're kept going because
Yes.
they have that function to carry out. They need to provide for their family, need to feed themselves, this and that. But in
Mm,
modern life, we have so many conveniences here in the Western world or whatever.
mm,
Like I seen this mad fact there. I had to look it up. Apparently, it's between 1% and 2% of the world population earn is it $38,000 or more? 1 to 2%
of the global population.
of the global population.
Mad.
But like, what makes us bored? Okay, we're constantly looking for. Most people have this like these what you call it again? Serotonin and what's that other feel good hormone?
Dopamine.
Dopamine. So you're
Mm,
constantly getting dopamine fixes.
mm,
And okay, what do I do now? Okay, I go and relax,
mm,
Netflix and chill, whatever the fuck you're doing. Play video games. Um, but if you're not doing that, you're working. Okay, grand. But like everyone's the point I'm trying to make, like people that aren't that curious, sometimes their life is just so full and they're worn out, they're just kept so busy with work. And then if
mm,
they're not working, they might be going to the gym, might be playing sport, and kept going with them interests. But they don't really have time to really look at what's going on around you
mm.
and just be curious.
Yeah.
But I think it's the people like if you are a curious person, I think you just kind of maybe pull yourself away from that autonomy and say, fucking hell, there's something more to this. Like, there's something more than just going to your 9 to 5. There's something more than just sitting down watching stupid shit on television or eating
Mm,
shit or fucking just doing what we'd call everyday stuff,
yeah.
but it's just stuff that's part of everyday modern society in the
Yeah.
Western culture, whatever way you want to call it.
Yeah. I think, well, a lot of men, you kind of yearn for an adventure. Do you know? They yearn to explore and
Yeah.
to
Mm.
have a good life experience or whatever. But that's kind of filled then with, your time is all taken up and stuff like that. And I think, I heard someone saying about video games. Video games kind of fill that void for a lot of men as well, where they can
Mm.
come home after a shitty day and they can fucking log into their PlayStation and they can pretend they're somebody else for a few hours and go off on some fucking, medieval adventure and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what video
GTA
games are doing for people.
GTA 6 is out in November. Christ. I have a PlayStation
Oh
5 that
jeez.
anyway. I have a birthday told. I have a birthday told.
I'll be gone for a
Sorry
while.
now. But sorry now,
Mm.
but there will be a few evenings there I'll be playing it for a few hours. Jeez, that's going to be nuts.
Do you know? I don't
Um,
know. I feel like I stopped. I was actually your age, John. Happy birthday, by the way. 30, man.
sound.
Um, yeah, for my 30th, my missus bought me a PlayStation 3, and she was
Yeah,
pregnant at
you
the
were telling me
time.
that
She
one.
was pregnant at the time, and it fucking wrecked her head. She'd be upstairs fucking feeling like shit, and I'm downstairs playing Call of Duty, and all she's hearing is like, this
Yeah,
bullshit,
yeah,
like.
yeah.
And I'm losing fucking hours of sleep over this shit. So, like, I think I had it for about 5 months, and about a month before the baby was born, I got rid of it because I was like, but I didn't play it then for years, and then I went over to a mate's house, fucking 5 or 6 years later, and he goes, "Go on, play Call of Duty." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, throw it on, throw it on." It just didn't do it for me anymore. Do you know? Enough time had gone
Mm,
by, and I was just like, I just can't get into it. And it's similar with the TV. Like we kind of stopped watching TV. When we first got together, the TV broke. I just didn't bother because we were just having a good time. We're hanging out, and we weren't
mm,
watching TV, and we didn't have a television for well over a year, and we got it back then because it was Christmas time. So we said we get it back for the Christmas movies and make give the house a bit of atmosphere and whatever. But I never was able to go back to television after that.
cheers.
Once we gotten rid of the skybox and all that kind of stuff, I'm not exposed to ads and shit like that anymore. And if I'm like, my parents were away on holidays there a while back, and just out of morbid curiosity, they rang me and goes, go up and fucking empty out the mailbox, whatever. So I went up and I turned on the television just to fuck because I hadn't seen live television for years, and I sat down for a couple of minutes watching. I just couldn't. It's all kind of changed since the last time I watched live TV, do you know? And the ads are so fucking awful, and the messaging and the ads, do you know? And there was one ad for a fucking, what are they called? Fanny pads, do you know? And I was like, Jesus, I forgot that people are watching this shit. Do you know, like I've gone years of my life now without seeing ads for fucking Always or whatever the fuck, do you know? And it's just, I don't know, it's everything's changed. And like even things with sports now, like I haven't watched sports for years, and now I'm finding out that there's like female referees, and we went to stream some F1 there just to spur the moment. We said, we want, well, fuck the F1, Miami F1 is on or something. All the women, it was all women in the studio. I was like, what the fuck's happening here? Like, do you know?
Oh, that's diversity, lad.
It's just, do you know, and if you like, you know, when you're in the bar, you see this fucking, it's all female commentators, female referees.
Yeah,
It's like
it's in every sport now.
there's nowhere for men to go either anymore. There's no space anymore where men can just fucking go off and do their own thing, but there isn't women muscling their way, and you know, just fucking leave us alone. But I swear, if you
Yeah,
stop,
yeah.
but television is very hypnotic, and if you stop watching it for long enough, when you go
You can
back
come
to
out
it,
of
you
that
kind of see
trance.
through it more. And it looked to me like the best analogy. You ever go on holidays when you're a kid to a foreign country or something? You turn on the foreign TV and you see some like foreign equivalent of the Graham Norton show or something like that, you know? And you don't understand the languages, whatever, but it all just looks so fake and stupid. And the characters, you're like, how the fuck did these just get on TV? But it's always the same. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Am I
yeah.
talking shit?
No, you're bang on. Uh, like even from school, I always remember, without fail, used to go home after school. Neighbours would be on. Then home, or sorry, Neighbours and Simpsons at 6, and then Home and Away after. And I remember tuning into, couldn't wait for the Simpsons to come on. And then Neighbours would be on, like, oh, I have to sit through this shit. And then the Simpsons at 6 o'clock, and it's like, oh. But
Mm,
that was just like a habit every day, like a ritual kind of thing.
mm,
Um, but I find as well, like if you're playing games, like I try not to play it too much, but even computer games, like fucking hell, there's a lot of games there you'll be coming out of it, and you're like kind of on edge after it. Like if you have to constantly repeat a level or playing FIFA or whatever it is, soccer games, and you're losing,
mm.
and you kind of come out of it, and you're, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like you're on edge, and like I even know there if the girlfriend was there, like, and if I was playing FIFA and if I was after letting in a goal or something, I just gotta fuck it and slam the hand on the bed or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
And she go, John, what the fuck you on about? What's wrong with you?
Mm,
It's only a
yeah,
fucking game, like.
yeah,
But
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you just get so on edge with it, like it just kind of builds you up, and
Well, I was like that the other day playing chess. The wife was like, "Niall, come on!" Like I'm like, "Oh fuck, fucking checkmate, motherfucker!" I didn't see that coming. Like, do you know, because man, I'm bad at it. I'm bad at it. Like, you know, but sometimes you're playing games with guys who are at your level, so you're in there, like, you know, and then
yeah,
sometimes you think you know what you're doing, and the next thing you're like, "What the fuck just happened? What the fuck? Checkmate!" And you're going back, going, "How the fuck did he do that?" Like, this guy's been setting you up for like the last 10 moves, but there you go.
yeah, fuckers.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think it's good to kind of slow it down a bit. I think
Mm.
slow
Yeah,
it down
you
a
know, when
bit.
you're talking about dopamine and entertainment and stuff, and I've heard people talking about dopamine detoxes, and apparently the younger generations are kind of getting into this as well, because life just isn't as rich when you're constantly getting this dopamine fix from your phone or whatever, you know.
Yeah,
And if you just shut everything off for half an hour or an hour a day and just sit there, like you were saying, just be bored. Sit there and be fucking bored for an hour, and you know, just twiddle your thumbs and have a think, you know. And then you come out of it,
you're meditating in a way, like, aren't you?
and yeah, you're just giving your fucking your nervous system a chance to fucking relax. But like I find, you know, going on about television and stuff, but I fucking I could be sitting at the lights go red, and I'll pull out the phone, check my messages or check something,
Yeah.
you know. Just can't just sit there for fucking
But sure,
30
we're
seconds and
obsessed
wait
with
for
the
the lights.
fucking thing, lad. We're obsessed
Mm,
with it.
yeah.
We actually are obsessed. Like I'm fucking gonna like, and I can guarantee you I'll go on and I'll scroll something before I hit the hay now, like, and like that. It's just it's progress. It's the best designed fucking thing ever. It
Yeah.
has to be. It's the best invention of all time in terms of it's it's a cheap fucking thing. You're paying for phone calls, texts. That's all you really need. Contacting through apps, messaging. But all you really need is text and phone call. Really, like, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, cameras. The camera's handy. Okay, camera's good as well. Like, you don't really need anything else. Alarm clock,
Yeah.
maybe. Okay, we'll set him for. You don't need anything else, like. But like,
Yeah.
you're someone else. It's like the amount of data, Facebook and all these social media that trolls have in you, and as you said there with ads, like you're being shoved fucking ads into your face. Um, like you're the product there, like. And then you're just scrolling. I'd often find if I was scrolling on the phone for 20 minutes, half an hour, I just feel like a useless cunt. I'd be like, oh, Jesus. But then I'd lay down the phone and then I'd pick up the fucking thing again and go at it
Yeah.
again.
Before you even know it. Yeah.
Whereas if you just go out and do a bit of exercise, go for a walk someplace, you might be a small bit agitated and might want to pull out the phone. But if you actually just left the phone in the car or something,
Yeah.
and then after a bit of physical exercise or a bit of fresh air, you would actually feel way better. Like
Yeah.
you said, you're
Yeah.
getting that bit of a dopamine, or well, whatever it is,
Detox.
serotonin or
Yeah.
detox or whatever the fuck you're
Yeah.
looking at there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say we'll wrap it up, lad, will we?
That's it. There was a lot of ranting out of me there. Sorry about that.
I was doing the same, lad. Just good chat. But yeah, the next one will be hopefully Matteo.
Chris
He
Matthews.
was
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
he was caught up above in the mountain. I think they had a
Yeah.
storm there over in America the last few
Yeah.
days,
So.
so that's the delay. And yeah, looking forward to that one.
Yeah, and I'm looking
The
for. I'm
Doors of
going to
Perception.
try and get the book read now over the weekend. I'm mad to talk to you about it as well. It's a fucking great book. Like,
We'll have to
there's a
nearly
lot.
do an episode on it.
Yeah, there's a load of. Jesus, I will reach out to him, man. You know, I did the Hodge twins, 3.5 million subscribers. He'll surely come on, have a chat with us. You know, at least we fucking read the book anyway. You know.
That's it. That's it. Show the support.
That's it.
Um,
Sounds so, Johnny.
yeah,
I like
nice
your. I
one,
like
Niall.
your room though, man. It's better than mine.
Well, I
See,
said I'll
see,
keep
see.
saying.
This is a good example
What's
of
he say
your
back in
brain
the
versus
wall
my
there?
brain. Watch how organized your imagination is. My imagination's a fucking mess.
Chaos, lad. Chaos. Organized
Yeah,
chaos.
yeah.
I'm just thinking that reminds you of So there was 2 millions behind that poster on the back, as you said. Your man from X-Files inside the office, but Bob
Mm,
Lazar inside Bob Lazar's room in the lab where he was reverse engineering with his buddy scientist, reverse engineering and looking at the what was it, the power generator and the gravity anti-gravity or the gravity generator, and that there was a poster inside it like that. And what does that say if you can read it backwards?
they're here.
They're here
Mm,
with a UFO in the middle of it, or
mm.
a flying disc. So are they
Very
here?
good, very good. Maybe
That's the big
have they
question.
always been here? Fuck. Will we ever fucking get any answers?
No,
Tune
that's
in
it, lad.
next week. Maybe there will be some answers.
We'll have an alien in with us next week.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Right, Nyla,
All right.
take it
If
handy.
anyone's still listening, thanks. Appreciate you. 600 and odd subscribers, John. We're moving up in the world.
We're
Appreciate
shooting
everybody.
up. Cheers,
Yeah,
lads.
yeah. I mean, it's better than being the fucking Daily Wire. The Daily Wire fucked, like they've lost 85% of their views. So
Well,
I'd
have
rather
the
be in our
fuck, yeah.
position now than them. Well,
Have the Alex Jones has
Ben
lost
Ben
his
Shapiro. I think
Ben
yeah. Did
Shapiro.
he shut that down?
He'd shut it down, but apparently it was sold because it's going towards that lawsuit. I think for the Sandy Hook victims, they did a
Right.
defamation against him for something like 1 billion.
$1 billion.
$1 billion.
Yeah.
Austin Powers, Dr. Evil. But he just set up another thing now, Alex Jones live, I think. But someone host that was they're after doing the first show of the newly bought Infowars, and her man,
Okay.
it was fair shit. Like her man was just basically doing an impression of Alex Jones, um, basically just calling himself a conspiracy theorist and all that. But it was so bad it wasn't even funny. So that's obviously going to be a bad investment. But yeah,
All
there's a
right.
bit to go yet before Infowars level, lad. But sure, we might get
Yeah.
there.
We will,
Thanks for
brother. We'll
listening,
get there.
everyone.
We'll get there. Yeah. Slán,
Yeah.
John.
Take Andy Schlan.
Good luck.
Thanks for listening. And if you like this and would like more, please subscribe and turn on notifications.